Look, let me ask you something. Have you ever checked your net worth and thought, I make decent money, so why does it feel like I'm running in place? Because on paper, you're doing fine. Your salary went up. You bought things you were told were smart financial moves. You own stuff. But somehow, your wealth isn't compounding. Your stress is higher. And retirement still feels far away. Here's the uncomfortable truth most people never hear. It's not that you don't own assets. It's that you own the wrong ones. Today, I want to walk you through 10 assets that look smart, feel responsible, but quietly destroy long-term wealth. These are the assets rich retirees actively avoid. Not because they're cheap, but because they understand something most people don't. Some of these will probably make you uncomfortable. Good. That's where real financial growth starts. My name is Luke, and I spend way too much time thinking about how people accidentally sabotage their own finances. If you work hard, earn decent money, but still feel behind, and if you've been told to just buy assets without ever being told which ones actually work, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And if this video helps you, give it a thumbs up. Because here's the thing. Rich retirees don't win by earning more. They win by not bleeding money into fake assets. Once you see these clearly, you can't unsee them. Let's start with the most emotionally charged one. New cars. You might be thinking, Luke, come on. A car isn't an investment. I need it. I get it. But here's what most people don't realize. A brand new car is one of the most expensive ways to feel successful for a short period of time. The average new car in the United States now costs about $48,000. The moment you drive it off the lot, you lose 10 to 15% instantly. That's $5,000 to $7,000 gone in year one. Guaranteed. And here's where it gets worse. Most people don't just buy the car. They finance it. At today's average auto loan rate of around 6 to 8%, that $48,000 car actually costs between $58,000 and $62,000 over the life of the loan. Now let me show you the real cost. If instead you bought a reliable used car for $20,000 and invested the remaining $28,000 into a basic S&P 500 index fund earning a conservative 8%, in 30 years, that single decision becomes more than $280,000. Same transportation. Completely different future. Rich retirees don't drive their wealth. They invest it. Next, your primary home, when you treat it like an investment. This one upsets people, so let's slow down. A home can be a great lifestyle purchase. It can even be a decent inflation hedge. But most people treat their primary residence like a wealth-building asset. It's not. Over the last 100 years, residential real estate appreciation averages about 3 to 4% annually. That's roughly inflation. Now subtract property taxes, maintenance of 1 to 2% per year, insurance, renovations, and opportunity cost. Suddenly, that investment is barely breaking even. Here's where it gets dangerous psychologically. People say, my house went up $100,000. But they ignore the fact that they paid $120,000 in interest, spent $60,000 on upgrades, and can't access the money without selling or borrowing. Rich retirees understand this distinction. Your home is shelter first. It's only an investment if it produces income. They don't upgrade kitchens to feel wealthy. They let compounding do the flexing. Now let's talk about whole life insurance. This one is controversial. Whole life is often sold as an investment, a tax strategy, or a safe way to build wealth. Here's the truth. It's an insurance product first, and a mediocre investment second. Most whole life policies return about 2 to 4% annually over decades, before inflation. Meanwhile, the stock market has averaged 9 to 10% historically. That gap doesn't sound big, until time gets involved. $500 per month invested at 9% for 30 years becomes about $680,000. The same $500 per month at 3% becomes about $290,000. Same money. Very different outcome. Rich retirees use whole life strategically, and rarely. Middle-income earners are sold it emotionally. If you're not maxing out your 401k, your Roth IRA, and your HSA, whole life is a distraction. Next, timeshares. Timeshares are sold on emotion. Sunset views, family memories, locked-in vacations. Here's the reality. The average timeshare costs about $22,000 upfront, plus $1,000 to $1,500 per year in maintenance fees, forever. Resale value is often zero. Some owners literally pay to get rid of them. Rich retirees don't prepay vacations for life. They invest the money and travel on the returns. Next, collectibles. Cars, watches, art. Some collectibles can appreciate. Most don't. They're illiquid, unpredictable, and driven by trends. That $15,000 watch is only worth that if someone else wants it right now. Rich retirees don't speculate on nostalgia. They buy boring assets that compound quietly. Next, rental properties with bad numbers. Real estate gets romanticized. Passive income. Cash flow. Leverage. But most rental properties bought by average investors don't cash flow. They rely on appreciation. If a $300,000 rental nets $200 a month, that's $2,400 per year. That's a 0.8% return. Rich retirees buy rentals that cash flow from day one. Or they don't buy them at all. Next, high-fee mutual funds. A 1.5% fee doesn't sound like much. But over 30 years, it can cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. Fees compound against you. Rich retirees obsess over costs. Because they understand compounding works both ways. Next, depreciating business tools you don't need. Fancy offices. New equipment. Upgraded tech. If it doesn't increase revenue, reduce time, or improve margins, it's not an asset. It's ego spending. Next, crypto you don't understand. Crypto isn't automatically bad. Speculation is. Rich retirees don't gamble retirement on assets they can't explain. Finally, status assets. Luxury brands. Lifestyle upgrades. Keeping up. These assets don't just cost money. They train your identity to spend. And once your identity inflates, saving starts to feel like deprivation. Rich retirees protect their identity first. Here's the final thought. Wealth isn't about owning impressive things. It's about owning freedom-producing assets. Audit what you own. Ask what actually compounds. Redirect even one bad asset. That single shift can change the trajectory of your life. That's the difference between people who retire stressed and people who retire rich. If this helped you, hit subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.